The 1986 Kangaroos got a traditional welcome at Manchester Airport this morning, mist and fog, but they come with one of the most formidable records in modern sport. On their 1982 tour, the Aussies scored 97 tries in their 15 matches. They left these shores acclaimed by all as the best touring side ever, and just to rub it in, they've won the last 10 test matches against Great Britain. But our performances against New Zealand last year have given us hope, and that could mean problems for captain Wally Lewis, one of only 5 survivors from the 1982 tour. But Mal Meninga is back again. Meninga scored 19 points against Great Britain in the first test match in 1982 and is generally acknowledged as one of the strongest players in the modern game.
Obviously I was very pleased about the way that the tour went for me personally. I played in all 5 tests on tour, and that's the element of any player's ambitions when they come on a tour, and I just hope I can sort of make a test team this time. We'll just see what happens.
How good a touring side would you say this particular one was?
I think it's a very good team actually. I can't foresee any weaknesses in the team at all. It's just a matter of attitude and commitment, training and playing. You know, if we take things easy, well, we might get beaten. If we sort of go the right attitude, well, I think we'll be right.
The feature of the Australians in recent years has been their teamwork as well as individual skills. At scrum half, they can boast the world's best in Peter Sterling, scoring here in the first test last time out. He's the man someone like Featherston's Derek Fox would have to control. But does Sterling worry about the tag of being the world's greatest?
No, I don't think so. You know, you're only as good as your last game, and I'm very lucky that I play in very strong sides. My own domestic club at home took out the competition, so no, you know, it's just up to me to go out and to do my best every week, and that's what I try and do.
Sterling proved his worth in this country when he played for Hull in 1984, but he knows that Sunday's match at Wigan will be a very tough first game.
It's a good test for us early on, and a good way to start off a tour with a game as tough as that. And I suppose it's a good guide too, because there'll be quite a few test players, I would imagine, on display in both sides. So a good game for the spectators as well.
There's not much doubt that another of the 82 tour survivors, Brett Kenny, can't wait for Sunday either. He played for Wigan in 1985 at Wembley, and as a test player, he's an acknowledged star.
You know, we realise it's going to be a very hard game, and they've got a few reasons why they want to win. Like they've got Graham Lowe as the coach, and he was on the wrong end of a hiding when we played New Zealand, so he'll probably be at him to put on a good show. But I still think we've got the side here that'll beat them.
Do you think the gap between the two countries has closed? Because it was enormous last time. Do you think we've learnt our lesson?
Well, I'm not sure. This is what this test series and also all of the county games will find out. Obviously the English have learned a lot, especially in the aspect of fitness, and we're expecting quite a hard tussle in the test series, but we're not making any bones about it. We're over here to win and win as well as we possibly can.
But there's a feeling that Great Britain could prove more difficult this time. And if the Aussies want a warning of what to expect on Sunday at Central Park, not to mention the rest of the tour, here are Mr. Hanley and Mr. Lydon.
It's unique, it's fantastic, and I think I feel all on edge, and I'm sure the Australian players are going to feel exactly the same way.
And so to Leeds last Sunday, the first team on show again, with the power of their backs in full evidence. And then for me, the best try of the tour so far. 9 men are involved in this brilliant move. So, who are the Aussie danger men? Great Britain's HANLEY has great respect for their captain.
Well, Wally Lewis is obviously a great individual player. He's also a very good team organiser. What I've seen of Wally Lewis, his defence is very good. He's got a good kicking game, obviously. So I don't think Great Britain can sort of go into the game against Australia and sort of say, we didn't know about these players, what they can do and what they can't do, because I think we've all got the rundown, really, of each individual.
Wally Lewis can dish out the rough stuff when he has to as well, of course, can't he?
That's right, Harry, but I think any player can on the day, and if they get riled enough, I think any player can just sort of lose his temper for that moment or, that second, whatever happens.
What about Peter Sterling? Because many call him the world's greatest scrum half. How good is he?
Peter Sterling, I've played against a number of times, and his strength obviously is in actually attacking and organising play for his backs and his forwards, and the forwards are always running off him.
Now, let's move on now to a guy who Wigan know very well, of course, Brett Kenny.
I've only played against Brett Kenny just the once opposite him last season at Bradford Northern. Again, he's a very good individual player. Probably the whole Australian side is packed with all individual players, good individual, but as I said, one of their greatest strengths is probably their organisation, and they've got a good will to win.
What about this guy, Noel Cleal?
Well, they tell me, Harry, that is some sort of alien, and I shouldn't probably say this on TV, really, because I might just happen to be bumping into him, really. But Noel Cleal, very strong player and very dangerous. I mean, very dangerous, obviously close to the line. But personally, myself, I respect all the players. I mean, I'm not just saying that for my own safety or protection. But no. On a more serious matter, no, I respect all the players, and Noel Cleal obviously is one of their danger men, and he needs some stopping.
But Great Britain are no pushovers. Against New Zealand last year, they recaptured their pride, and after losing the first test, came back to trounce the Kiwis in the second, the Gary Schofield test.
And he does, yes! A tremendous try! Good run from Free now to Schofield. He's going for the line. Nico Howard's going with him. Yes! Oh, magnificent try!
So how good are we? The Aussie vice-captain Peter Sterling rates Great Britain highly, especially ELLERY HANLEY.
Well, obviously he's a very dangerous ball runner, probably one of the best ball runners in the game at the moment. Prolific try scorer, and very, very dangerous man, especially inside your half. Weaknesses, I suppose we'll test him out defensively. But really, number one objective when you're playing ELLERY is to make sure that you put him on the ground when he's got the football, and make sure you don't give him too many opportunities.
Is he regarded by you as one of the key players in the Great Britain side? I mean, do people in Australia know who ELLERY HANLEY is?
Yes, he's got a good reputation over there from the last tour, even though they did play him what I thought out of position on the wing. And I suppose, having been here the last couple of seasons myself, I probably know a little bit more about him than a lot of the members of this touring party, and I've tried to make it obvious that he will be a very much so a danger man.
Well, somebody you know very well, of course, is Gary Schofield. Now, what are Gary's strengths?
Well, again, he's one of these players who can sniff out a try. He's a tremendous backup player, and these sort of players can score tries because they're always on the job and they're always close to where the football is. I think the fact that he's had experience in Sydney has also made him a better player, and again, you've got to watch him and make sure when he's got the football that you don't give him opportunities, because he'll run a try.
When you consider that lad's only, 20 now, he's got an awful long way ahead of him, hasn't he?
Well, we hope so. Gary's he's a tremendous lad, and I just hope that he's a little bit careful and doesn't burn himself out, because it is difficult to play in two countries. I've found that, and I think you do have to have a break every now and then, and I think in the next couple of years you'll find him sort of pacing himself that little bit more, but certainly the experience he's picked up in the last couple of years will be invaluable later on.
Some people are saying that if Great Britain had to have any chance of beating Australia, they're going to have to sort you out. Derek Fox is the man who's going to be grappling with you. What do you know about Derek Fox?
Well, I know quite a bit about him. Again, having played here before and played against Featherstone, I've played against him quite a few times, actually, and again, when he played in Sydney, I watched him quite closely because I felt he would be in contention for the test side. He had a disappointing stay in Sydney, but he's a much better player than what he showed over there, and very strong player, deceptively strong, because of, he's only got a small stature about him. But he gets in, he burrows down, he's got a good work rate, and he's a good all-round player because he's involved in the game, and that's something I admire in players.
Now, I know you're a great supporter of the guy that we all call Rambo over here, Lee Crooks. Tremendous player, isn't he?
Well, to me, Crooksy is close to the best forward in the world. I think that he's had a lot of responsibility thrust on him at an early age, and he's handled that very well. He has got a little bit of a reputation as a hot head, but the man is a very strong player and has got all the skills. If he can hone those skills, again, I think the Australian experience has done him well. If he can hone those skills, then he could be the best
prop forward in the world without any doubt.
Memories go back to that remarkable kick he made as well against New Zealand in the last series. I don't know whether you read much about that back home in Australia, but it was quite a remarkable pressure kick, was that one?
Well, I saw the kick. I didn't see a great deal of the series. I was on holidays, actually, but I suppose that showed the quality of the guy to be able to, in that situation, to come up with the goods. And you find that the good players in this game are the ones who can react in pressure situations, and obviously that was one of those situations.
If statistics are anything to go by, we've had it. Since 1982, Great Britain have won only 7 test matches, 6 of those against France, who with the greatest respect have not exactly très bon. But the Aussies' record is impressive, just 2 defeats in 4 years, and a test record that's as intimidating as any in sport. So how do we beat them? The last coach to do so was Peter Fox, now coach of Leeds, in 1978.
Well, we've got to play a little bit their style in the sense that we've got to encroach outside the backs. I've got to get them onto their backs, not let them spread the ball too wide, because I don't think they'll break us in the forwards. I think we've got forwards good enough to take them on, and I don't think the forwards are that strong.
Are you saying that this side then, despite the fact that it got 40 points against Leeds and 46 points against Hull KR, is not quite as formidable as the 1982?
They are nowhere near as good. Technically, they're not as good. Lewis stands about a lot, just passes the ball. So you've got to have men running outside of him. If you cut his space down and stop him passing this ball out, their forwards will not make... They haven't made the headway today with the forwards. Although it's 40s, you've said, their forwards didn't really break us and go through our tackling.
But everyone wants to see the Aussies, hence the choice of Old Trafford for today's match.
Well, you've got to put on the best in the best, and without doubt, Great Britain versus Australia at Rugby League is the best rugby football in the world. Old Trafford is undoubtedly the best stadium, certainly in the north of England, probably in this country. So it's the quality of the promotion, the quality of the event, and it demands that sort of quality of accommodation.
Nevertheless, rugby league folk do tend to be rather conservative, and some of them don't like going in football grounds. Have you borne that particular argument in mind?
We're aware of it, but we've dismissed it. It doesn't really stand up. Certainly on the advanced ticket sales of genuine rugby league fans, we know who they are, we know where we're sending the tickets to, and the advanced sales have been phenomenal. I'm confident that rugby league fans, the genuine fans, will support this superb event in very, very big numbers indeed.
And just in case rugby league fans don't know their way around Old Trafford, not to mention Great Britain coach Maurice Bamford, we asked Bobby Charlton, who does, to show him round.
All the different dressing rooms, rugby league and soccer that you go into, you look at the doorway and the floor and you think, well, there's been some talent gone through here. Look at the seats, all sat on them and the pegs.
Yeah. Well, I come in here and it just takes me back. You know, I mean, I can see goalkeepers, I can see Nobby Style sitting there, changing there. You can see George Best and Dennis Lowe in the corner, and I can hear the manager giving you your last talk before you go out. I can hear people breaking windows and mirrors, you know, kicking the bloody ball around. And the shooting board there, they had to put that up because people used to be breaking windows and mirrors all the time. There's a few superstitious, so they put a kicking board there. When I came at 15, there was a little shed outside, and you used to have to go there for your treatment. And you come back in here, and everything revolved around this place. But it's just grown out of all recognition now. It's probably the best appointed ground in the world.
So this board, Bobby, was where all the famous names were either selected or not selected, dropped or...
Yes. You always had a look. It didn't matter whether you were regular in the team and you knew you were certain to play. You always went on a Friday when Matt Busby came in and he put the list up.
On there.
And you went up there to the board, and if your name wasn't on, well, oh, bloody hell. If it was, you're all right, you know. But a couple of lads occasionally didn't used to like it when the name wasn't up there, you know. So then they had to go up to the office upstairs. And
find out why they weren't on.
Yeah. So what you didn't want was to get the message to come before the teams went up.
Because it certainly is a feeling when you walk down this tunnel, mate, isn't it? And suddenly the things all around you.
Yeah. It's a cracking. It's a cracking tunnel. You finish up, you start off trying to be cool and thought, I'll walk out, I'm in charge of everything, you know. But then you get that little slope and you finish up, you're running on, before you realise it, bang, and it just hits you. It's lovely.
What's the dugout, Bob?
Here's a little dugout, yeah. Ron Atkinson comes down here from the stand when he needs to make a substitution or something like that, but all protected so that they can see you. It just shows you these days, you know, they actually want to see personalities in the game.
But they can't get at you.
But they haven't got to get at you.
The preparation's been first class again. I know that, and the players know it. The treatment of the players has been first class. The preparation, the ground itself is a first class ground. Everything's right for us. But above all, there's this feeling within the Great Britain camp that we can do well. Winning's another matter, but they feel we can win as well.
Can the Pommies beat you? That's the big question that we're all asking.
Yeah, I hope not. But I do. I just have a look at them. I think they've got a very, very good side and a balanced side. I looked at the 17 players, and there's certainly a lot of talent there. Depending on the day, we'll just see what happens. But we're certainly treating them as a top-class side, nothing taken for granted.
Can Great Britain beat this Australian side?
Definitely, but Harry, I'm sat here with you right now, and I can't exactly tell you how they're going to beat them, because Maurice Bamford, I don't think he'd be liking that very much, and he'd probably spank my bottom for telling you anyway, and on television as well.